right, what is going on, Coin Observatory? What's going on, Cryptoverse? Thanks for tuning into today's Power Hour. The highlight of this one is did coin bottom, and I really think it did, and I believe we're headed upwards. I've got several reasons. I've been posting a lot of articles on our Medium page. I've been contributing to BlockDelta. There's links to those articles. There's links to BlockDelta in the video description. So if you want to read those articles for yourself, we've been really keeping up with it since 8/13, right? And I was publishing back then, 4 reasons we're bullish. I published on the altcoin capitulation, which is Altcoin Massacre we saw, and then the anatomy of a short squeeze. So we're still expecting a short squeeze, and it hasn't happened. Posted on the ProShares ETF and ended up being priced in, so we never saw the market react to the news. Even though, ironically, one of the newer traders to our trading community was telling me, hey, I'm getting ready to short the news. It's going to get rejected. I can't wait to short the news. We're going to make a lot of profit. All these other paid groups I'm in, that's what we're doing. And we're just like not expecting any movement because the ETF was net neutral. It was 2 parts. It was a Bitcoin long ETF plus a Bitcoin short ETF, right? So whether that passes or not, it's a double-edged sword. It was neutral. We knew it was neutral. We didn't really care. And we've been long since 60/40. If you guys follow me on TradingView, I've got that trading idea posted at 60/40, $6,040. And then price discovery is something I want to talk about today. I haven't talked about this except for our insiders. They're the ones that know how to pick positions based on price discovery because I've done workshops on that. And I want to talk about why I think we bottomed based on like Wyckoff, accumulation, and so forth. Before I go any deeper, you guys want to let me know how audio is? Drop your comment on YouTube or Facebook. That's where I'm taking comments and questions from today. So if you can drop me a comment, let me know how audio is, let me know how video is before I dive in further. All right, so real quickly, what is price discovery, right? Price discovery is the definition by Investopedia is providing a contrarian point of view and going against the crowd. Short sellers facilitate price discovery for stocks. So price discovery, in a sense, is how far down can an asset be sold short before we see it turn back around. And we've seen quite a bit of price discovery in this bear market that we've been through, right? We've seen shorts come in time and time again and try to push the price lower. And we're seeing right now shorts at an all-time high, right? So we're at a selling climax where short selling is at an all-time high, but if profiting from a short sell was their purpose, well, now they're trapped. There's currently a big majority of shorts trapped at 6,500, and BTC is currently at 6,735. So my next target up here is going to be 7,200. Whether that happens now, whether we get a little retracement before then, that's going to be an interesting play. But if you look at the VPVR, there's a low volume node overhead, and we see the majority of the short selling occur between 486 and 6,200, 62, 63. So the majority of short positions were open right here, and they're underwater. So bears are currently underwater. At some point, if we start making a leg up, we're going to see short squeeze. A short squeeze is a volatile upwards move. We've seen some of those before. We saw one happen in April, and that was very profitable to the upside. And that's what I'm really looking forward to kick us off into the new trend. Another reason we are in a selling climax, and I'll go into selling climaxes a little later, is the Bitcoin USD shorts chart, right? We saw an earlier selling climax. I'm going to go to 1 day just to consolidate all this data. Thank you, Usman. Thanks for letting me know. All right, so we're going to consolidate some of this data on the chart. And what we're going to do is take a look at BTC USD shorts, which is going to be that red line. The earlier selling climax, right? We tested the low, and we know that selling climaxes happen during periods of accumulation. So there's a selling climax occurring earlier, and BTC didn't quite hit that 5,700 mark. Bottomed somewhere. We're gonna go off that lowest wick, so 6,400, and then we saw what I'm believing was the spring, right? If you go to a Wyckoff accumulation, the phases. So we've got our selling climax, we get a secondary test, then we get a spring. So we didn't quite get the secondary test after the selling climax because of the short squeeze. If this was our secondary test, it wasn't a very strong one, but we did get a lower low, and that's the spring. So we have a Wyckoff phase A, and we've got a phase B somewhat missing. The spring occurs in C. So here we're seeing a spring. It's probably a secondary test of the spring, and we're also at another selling climax. So bears are coming in, they're an all-time high, so we can assume that short selling or selling the supply is somewhat exhausted because they're at an all-time high. The majority of the market is short, and we're just now seeing bulls come back in and try to take the price back up. So taking all that into consideration, I do believe we bottomed around that 5,700 mark, 5,800 in June. And here we're getting a secondary test for the rally. On the spring, we didn't have nearly as many short sellers open their positions. And we currently have so many shorts that are underwater. It's going to be a beautiful squeeze. Because previously on that 4/7, 4/9, or April 11th, that squeeze on April 11th, April 12th, we didn't have quite as many shorts underwater. And here we've seen shorts overtake bulls for quite some time, and they're still building positions. If you guys follow me on TradingView, I kept a long idea updated. I'd post on all the micro bear traps I saw on intraday charts. Every time the chart would come down and paint a bear flag, we can see shorts just accumulate, and then the chart would go back up. So it was really trying to trap more and more shorts and for a bear trap. Check on questions. You guys have any questions about Bitcoin or the shorts positions? Anything I've covered so far? If you think I'm wrong, let me know and tell me why. For those of you that are part of our trading community, I've got two of our indicators that we use to confirm trends, right? We currently have green volume bars above the explosion line, so that's a good thing. Our trend analysis is to the upside. We're still waiting on the second confirmation. I don't have our third indicator up there yet. We will also have stochastic RSI up through the roof on the daily. So momentum is to the upside. And if we wanted to add a regular RSI, let's see if I can add one more indicator on this chart. Oh, wrong chart. And our regular RSI is also bullish. We're currently sitting at a 52 RSI on a 1 day. And I typically don't use that for spot. It's not really a spot indicator. I'm gonna make this chart a little bigger. And our last high, right, RSI was overbought and it went through the roof. Did we see a pullback? Yes, we did. But interestingly, we're seeing the pullback not break into the extremes. It made a failure swing, and I've talked about failure swings before. It's a sign of a reversal. Now, I might be dubbed as the perma bull, right? But I think we're headed back up. I know we're headed back up. Once this squeeze starts, it's gonna get really, really interesting. If someone wants to be contrarian to my views, right, hedge a short on these wicks. Next time we get a visit of 67 or 68, hedge a short. But I'm currently unhedged. I will hedge when I see a complete breakdown, but I'm not quite gonna exit my long at 60-40 so long as the yearly low holds, right? So if we get a retest of 58.92 or 5700, I'm likely to add at those levels while hedged short upon a breakdown. The current formation on BTC, some people are calling this a rising wedge. This looks more like an ascending triangle to me, right? Usually a rising wedge is going to have an RSI divergence with it. And we're not seeing that. We're really not seeing that. On the 1 day, let me go to a 4 hour. I don't quite see it. If somebody wanted to say, hey, well, this high on stochastic is lower than that high. Well, what do we know about this high? This was a market anomaly. BitMEX was down during this period. So it's not like the whole market was participating. So this is an anomaly, right? This was a breakout out of the triangle formation for a retest. And now we're seeing a secondary breakout. So I don't see a rising wedge developing. I tried to chart one earlier and it was really hard to see what others are saying as far as a rising wedge is concerned. I don't know if they're going off wicks or off candles. Right, so if you wanted to go off wicks, I mean, it's really not a clean wedge. If you wanted to do that, then we'd have to go down to, you're not going to mix wicks and candles. I'm going to go from candle body to candle body. And we've got 1, 2, possibly 4 touches. All right, so this could be a rising wedge. And we'd have to see how this reacts, right? So if you get a breakdown formation, that's when I'd hedge. But the way I see it, I believe, especially with the VPVR, with all these bears being underwater, I want to see a squeeze occur. And with short selling being at an all-time high, we're at a selling climax. If you wanted to cover anything else from these, not quite. So if you guys want to read those the articles I was talking about on Medium, click the link to our Medium page, subscribe to it, or check us out on BlockDelta as well. Let's go to CoinMarketCap and check on dominance. Oh, before I get all the way over there, post capitulation. I wrote this article on how we saw the Altcoin Massacre and this capitulation play on alts. And if you guys have been following me closely, when we first started getting these ETF decisions in June, I said, hey, we need to stay away from alts. If BTC goes on a surge for an ETF, we're going to see altcoins struggle. So that was our reason to get out of alts, not the massacre. But we were out of alts for the massacre. It just coincided that we also saw BTC coming down to retest, or we saw alts coming down to retest the previous dominant support, which is at 17%. I said this is where we want to look at getting back in the alts, because from here it's going to be straight down until we get a test off that bottom. If we can look at this as a chart, right, we want to stay away from alts until they bounce off support. We want to make sure that support holds, and 17% dominance actually held up back then. Let me look at it today. And it sure did, right? And now we're seeing a lot of altcoins rally. So we were hesitant the first few days on putting up signals, on posting trading ideas. But past week, we've been pretty active on signaling altcoins. We put up quite a few. I'm not going to go over a lot of them because they're still active plays. It's not fair to our community members that pay for the call. So I'm not going to go ahead and highlight a lot of them. But if you guys have altcoin requests, I'll take them shortly. So market dominance bounced right off that 17% where I thought it would, where I said it would, right? 17.8. The previous support was 17.4. And here we see Bitcoin dominance start to curve back down. Where are we going to find support on BTC dominance? That's a tricky one. If we get a short squeeze, we're going to find it very soon when we get it. Or back down at that 45.39 where we had a previous resistance. And we're currently at 53. So it's only it's a 9% drop. excuse my math. So it's about a 9% drop in dominance before we can see altcoins and BTC start battling again. That is pretty much it for I have to cover on BTC, the market cap, and altcoins. If you guys have questions, please show me some alts. I want to cover some alts for you. And while we're at it, while I'm waiting for altcoin requests, go ahead and click like on the video, click subscribe, ring the bell. All right, ETN. Is that electronium? Wow. Man, there was so much hype about this coin. Never got into it, right? Never got into it. I'm not into the passive income unless it's a real masternode, where it's actually doing work. I'm not into that. So ETN, it's not looking as good as a lot of coins are, right? Some altcoins are looking really good, really juicy. This one is not. It's looking bad. I'm seeing ADX not at a peak on a 1 day. It hasn't quite turned at 41 before. So if you're looking at the trend analysis, it's still in a downtrend. There's one interesting thing I'm going to highlight that might make it turn back around, right? So if you look at this downtrend, it hasn't quite bounced off this ADX level. It likes to go to 55. It's done that twice. Currently at a 43, so you could see some more down, some more blood. One thing that's interesting is this dragonfly doji candle, right? And it typically you want to see the market turn around after one of these. We saw one on BTC and the market turned back around. We see one here and it's still pulling back down. I would not consider this a buy or a hold or in anything at this point. All right, MFT. Hey, this one's from my playbook. When did it hit Binance? Okay, so MFT is a new listing. I signaled this one not too long ago. I added to my position today. Seeing a rally, right? We saw what looked like an ascending triangle. Slightly skewed ascending triangle, and then we saw it break back down, right? So we saw the breakdown occur and it pulled back. So let's measure this pullback. Let's see if this is a bullish pullback or too oversold. It bounced right off that 50% fib, one bounce off the 60, another bounce off the 50. This looks like a cup formation, right? So pennant consolidated down to 50, now attempting to break back up. And I posted that I added to my position. And I re-signaled this one over in the 80-90 range, somewhere down here over the weekend. And now we're looking back up for a breakout. Stochastics looking up, right? So that's healthy. Let's look at RSI, check for divergences. I don't quite see a divergence here. RSI has not pushed up into the overbought range, so that looks good. You guys asked me about targets on this trade. Let's go ahead and do a fib extension. I'm gonna post two sets of targets, right? We're gonna go downtrend targets and uptrend targets. All right, looky here. So we've got, this is our bearish downtrend fib extension tool, and looking at this chart, our next overhead target is going to be the 119, 134, 150, 173. Right. So if we're still in a downtrend, these are the possible bounce points. If we're going to come in here and set an uptrend, I'm going to go ahead and put up another fib, swing high, swing low. So targets are going to be slightly higher. We've got two sets of targets. This could be a target, and this is our trailing stop, right? So if you're going to trade this trailing stops, we think this is going to be a good one. This would be the target. This would be the trailing stop. So once price consolidates at 124 and goes sideways, 119 is a good trail. Goes through and essentially just trailing stop all the way up. We got nice ladders both ways up. I'm not looking to profit take before one of these bigger targets. Matt Long, what's going on? All right, so we got MFT. I covered that. I'm gonna cover Lumen for Victoria on YouTube. You guys go ahead and smash like because I covered MFT. All right, Lumen. This is a nice formation. This is an inverted ascending triangle almost. It's an inverted flag. I said I was eyeing Lumen today. Inverted flag. Some might argue with me, say flags can't be inverted. Buy a new trading book. Gee, where is it? Is it on my desk? There's this book that you need to buy if you don't know about inverted triangles. You want to argue with me? I'll pull it up towards the end. So this is an inverted triangle, inverted pennant. We could see a leg up, right? So entering this trade, you didn't see like moving averages starting to look better. Price actually consolidating above the 30. That's good. Let's look for divergences. What's RSI doing? We don't quite see that. We do see somewhat of a divergence here. Not a strong one, but we do know it's almost altcoin season. We saw a lot of good tokens make a lot of gains after that capitulation run, right? One thing that's worrisome about Lumens, I spoke about this not too long ago. Lumens and BAT were looking fairly similar. And I was saying we want to wait and see if XLM can come down and retouch this level of support. And it's doing a bullish engulfing candle on the daily, so that's healthy. And back to Lumens. If somebody wanted to enter now, a good stop would essentially be at the bottom of the flag, right? So 3201. If I was to enter this trade, I'd market buy and I'd put my stop at 3201 and come back in a day or two and check on it. All right, vet. Hey. All right. I also posted on this one. This is from our playbook. Currently breaking out. Somewhat of a triangle. I spotted one on the 30 today. This is on the 4-hour. It's fairly bullish, right? It made a violent leg up. It made a violent leg up. Try to break out of the flag once. Try to break out of the flag twice. Currently breaking out. The target on this one's gonna be a pretty big target. Who posted on this? Usman. I don't know if you traded Digibyte with us. It was a very similar setup on a pennant. We made over 70% on that trade. Next target for VET is going to be 297. We're seeing another flag develop. Let's check on RSI. A little earlier today, I was somewhat hesitant, but this looks like a cup, right? We could come back and make a handle. We did see quite a bit of volume come in, and we need to get RSI to break out, right? So previously it was right at this price level on a wick, and a lot of these breakouts in RSI goes through the roof because it's a really violent breakout. And here we're getting maybe a little bit less volume, definitely less volume. Look at our OBV. So it's not quite pushing up as hard, but everything else looks fairly good. I'd want to see this divergence resolve in this leg up, and the leg up will resolve the divergence. If failure to do that, we might look in again stopped out. All right, going over is that Litecoin LTC. Man, you guys know I don't like going over this coin. Litecoin stresses me out every time. Let's look at Litecoin. So volume on Litecoin is looking good by Binance metrics. I don't trust Binance metrics. I'm gonna look at Bittrex. It's not good at Bittrex metrics. Bitfinex. Doing all right. I don't quite see anything that says a reversal. Now it's currently back at that previous support level. If somebody was scaling into this trade, like doing a buy ladder, this might be a good entry. What's RSI doing? We're seeing RSI move back up into that failure swing territory, right? We also know that Litecoin likes to do capitulation runs. It's done that several times. It did it before this rally. It did it before this rally. And that's why I don't like reviewing Litecoin, because it does these capitulation runs. Same thing with XRP. Maybe a month ago, a little over a month ago, everyone's like, hey, what about Ripple? What about Ripple? I'm like, it's not ready. It's going to come back down. Currently not a big fan. I'm not seeing anything that says reversal. Like some of the coins that we're eyeing, some of the coins that look good. I'm gonna go over Ripple, for example. We saw the capitulation happen, and we see a leg up, and now we're seeing more volume try to come in to bring the price up higher, right? So you like on this rally, everyone's like, hey, what's going on with XRP? It's a good buy. No, actually we sold it short on this rally. We longed here, sold short. Profit took a little way too early. I wasn't expecting this heavy of a capitulation. And currently, you know, I want to see some of this type of like a U type or a rounding bottom or a triangle bottom, something that says reversal or a falling wedge, something that will excite me, something that says, hey, there's momentum coming in this chart, even like high volume, a surge of volume. Going back to the intraday on Ripple, just to show you more of the things I'm looking for. We're seeing that rounding bottom come in and try to set. We see a consolidation triangle that wasn't looking very bullish, right? And the chart broke down. It's gonna come back up and want to retest some of these, some of these resistance areas. All right, show me some altcoins. I know you guys have more altcoin requests. ICN. You guys want to talk about ICX? It's from our Hey, awesome. Thanks, DGK. So Icon is ICX, pretty sure. Economy. That's Iconomy. Icon. All right, that's better. So the 4-hour RSI does not look divergent, right? We've got a higher high and a higher high. The trend is at a 40 on a 4-hour. Let's go to 1 day, check on the daily trend. And it's coming back down. So ADX is not a directional indicator. Price tends to reverse at peaks and troughs. A peak is an ADX peak where ADX at the highest. A trough is where it's the lowest. So I'm going to go ahead and make that ADX a little brighter. We're going to look at peaks and troughs on the 1 day and on the 4-hour. And then we'll go from there. Hopefully that's more visible. All right, so one reason I really like ICX, you guys know, integrated with some funds, right? And a lot of the funds I'm integrated with are doing some heavy analysis on ICX. It was one of the tokens they requested that we test some of their wallets, and yeah. So all right, to the downside, right? It's gonna be interesting. AEX can flatten out because this is a point of support and resistance on the ADX, and it could come back down. If ADX continues back down, we remain in this uptrend. One thing that's nice is we're seeing this rounding bottom, right? We saw a bullish engulfing candle come in. We're seeing a lot of volume interested in this chart. Quite a bit of buy volume come in to pick the chart up. This one looks nice. I'm still currently long on ICX. The intraday looks kind of somewhat of a possible small head and shoulders. Let's go ahead and measure it and set a target for it to see if it breaks past that. Maybe get stopped out now and pick it back up there, or add at that target, double or nothing. All right, so this is what I see. All right, somewhat of a head and shoulders developed, played out. The target on this one, uh, 9% move down, so we can expect a 9% move down. Puts us back at that 12.1. All right, gonna get rid of that. But before we get to that 12.1, we do know that there's going to be a little bit of support, or we can assume there's going to be a little support at the previous trading range. Currently setting up in somewhat of an intraday bear flag, but it came back down. It retested the previous breakout formation, right? Retested again. I'd wait, you know, I wanted to move my stop up since we had two retests here, 1270 or 12.122. 12.232. Right, pay. So pay did not do what most altcoins did, right? This one remained intact. It didn't quite, even during the this bear market, it made several legs up, which tells us that someone's interested in this chart. Long term, it's looking, you know, like a downtrend. We did see higher lows, higher highs on the 4 hour, and I do believe Pay's setting up for something big. It is on our custodial holdings list. We did see quite a bit of volume come in and pick this chart back up, even though the rest of the market was consolidating and being devalued. Let me see if you have a wedge here. Not quite. You have somewhat of a triangle. I'd say it's lost momentum from this previous price action, but on the daily, it hasn't even set a lower low, right? If it comes back here for a retest, that would be a buy. And we're seeing these really full price action candles. It wouldn't surprise me if it went sideways for a while before like a real violent breakout, because of all this accumulation that's happened on this chart. We still don't see any big sell-off candles, right? We see a lot of really big buy candles. We don't see a lot of big sell candles, not on Bittrex. Plus this one is currently not on Binance, so this could be ready for a Binance listing. That'd be a good exit when that happens. Going over Dash. Dash was making some moves today. I've been watching it, and it's definitely made a move. Look at that RSI on the daily. Raging went from a failure swing all the way up to a 52. That's some bullish RSI. Let's go on the 4 hour, try to identify a formation, something we can trade. Nothing, just a big green celery stick. 2 hour, we're seeing consolidation come in, right? 1 hour. 30. Alright, this one wants to play tricky. It's currently sitting at that previous resistance, right? So if it closes above it and wants to trade above it, right, that's good. Might trigger in a long. I'd like to see a formation play out before going in. I don't like to trade FOMO if there's no confirmation, if there's no pennant, if there's no bull flag. If there's not a formation that we can trade, I'm not just gonna buy in a chart because it can come right back down. So Dash looks good. It's definitely on our watch list and started making moves today. It moved on volume, it moved on news. Let's look. Let's put some fibs up. Where was our last high? So going from our last swing high to our last swing low. You know, the target on Dash is at 0.29 satoshis. So let's go to USD. See, you put a fib and everything starts making sense. So you want to see Dash come back down, consolidate at the $161 mark, right, before the next leg up. It hit that 184, was rejected there. So I'd really want to look for consolidation between the lines. Some charts are going to be harder to trade on BTC value, others are harder on USD value. So that's why I like looking at these pairs on various values just to see what's happening. So in US dollar measures, Dash is looking pretty good. Made some $35 in profits today, which is a good move up. Now it's consolidating at our 38% fib level, and it wants to come back down to 23.6, right? So we're looking for a pullback. I'd look for that 23.6, right? There's support there. There's fib support. There's previous support. There's candles. There's a trading range. Or I'd wait for a consolidation in between just to get a safe entry with a decent stop. All right, going SNT. All right, this looks interesting. It's like in unison with Ripple slightly. Check volume on Bittrex. Volume's low on Bittrex. Binance. Volume's low on Binance. We do know that volume's been pretty low on most alts. A lot of the market's disengaged, and that's why it's looking like bottom, right? Nobody's really looking at alts. Some of them are actually making a lot of gains today. Blender and I were talking about it. Some of the analysts have been really going through charts to put up signals. What am I seeing here? I'm seeing somewhat of a rounding action. By rounding, I mean there's a curve to the consolidating price action, and round bottoms are a good thing. Oh, let's go ahead and fix that. Not quite a whole lot of curvature to it, but we do see the capitulation sell off. Not seeing anything bearish other than the big downtrend. We do know that alts are at a point they want to start turning around. I do see on the daily this pretty pretty big divergence. It's a bullish divergence on RSI. Maybe not. Okay, scratch that. No divergence. ADX is around the peak though. It's starting to pull back down. It means I don't know. I'm neutral on SNT. I'm trying to find a trade. I'm neutral. My consensus on NST is currently neutral. You guys, give me some more altcoins. You got 10 to 15 more minutes. All right, going once, going twice. No more altcoin requests. Well, thank you for tuning into our Power Hour. If you want to get into our trading community, click on the link to our website. We're very active. We do a lot of margin trading. We do quite a bit of altcoin trading, and we follow the market really well. Qtum, awesome. So Qtum was. I'm not going to say what just happened on Qtum, but we like Qtum at the current levels. Momentum is to the upside with this one, right? We're seeing the market. This is the rounding action I'm talking about, right? We got nice curve, nice round bottom of the chart. What is RSI doing? That was a little bit of a, not even a bear div. Currently breaking out. That was great timing by Blender. All right, let's go last swing low, last swing high. We see this Adam and Eve formation as well. It's going parabolic. Qtum goes up really fast. All right, setting some shorter term targets. Blender's got targets on this one as well, right? Look at that perfect bull flag on the 2 hour. So we're gonna see some consolidation here. At the 68, 72, 77. It's just trailing stops all the way. We'll keep this one updated. Waves. Thanks, Mark. All right, waves. This has been a tricky token, right? But this one's looking in unison with a lot of tokens that are currently breaking out. There was this price consolidation. Once again, somewhat of an ascending triangle. Actually, more of a cup and a handle as well. Broke down, came back up, retested straight into a breakout. Not quite a new high, right? RSI was struggling, and broke back down. But here we're seeing it go oversold again. And I would tighten a stop on waves. If I'm still in waves, I would move my stop up. Essentially down here would be a tight stop at 31.90. A more loose stop would be at 28,886. There's a lot of tokens that have momentum, right? Coin Observatory, we like momentum trading, right? We like getting a trade. We don't like hodling. We don't wait through downtrends. We get our stops in. We trailing stop out. We look for formations. We trade the formations. We're into making profit and not hodling for no reason, for stupid reasons. It's opportunity cost, right? We don't want to cost ourselves losing BTC or losing USD values because of fundamentals, right? Like, just if you held through the bear market, if you hodled through the bear market, you didn't do good. Like, don't tell me that strategy is working. So I wouldn't recommend hodling. I'd recommend putting stops on anything that looks like it's coming down. Once again, it's not like recommend, but it's not trading advice. It's just my personal opinion. It's not financial advice. It's my personal opinion. A and B. Go into a 1 day. We're seeing somewhat of that round bottom again. Very much in unison with other tokens, right? Somewhat rebounding. Currently, do you see divergence? Don't see divergence. I believe this one was a wedge play. I believe it was a wedge. Nope, not quite. All right, current downtrend. So on the daily, it's not looking quite as bullish as other tokens, right? RSI is still at 41. It's below 50. We do see a nice rounding bottom. We can see some sideways consolidation like we've seen here previously on AMB. Let's go into a 4-hour check on ADX and RSI. Four-hour, I'm seeing rejection wicks occur here above that 2180. Let me go ahead and highlight that. All right, so 2180 comes around and there's selling happening. Now, this is going to be a classic range trade for now. I don't see momentum. I don't see a breakout. If you're a range trader, right, you got 1, 2, 3 touches. Range traders buy support and they sell resistance. A breakout above this range would put this in the momentum category. A breakout formation, really small bull flag, barely any flagpole, just like these full body candles, and a flaggish formation. Range trade, right? So if this one comes back down, I'd see what happens at the 1857. If it gets a turn, it'd be a long. If not, the next low is going to be the 1769. So if long here, you'll stop at that 1868. My pleasure. You guys getting more altcoin requests? Once again, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to click like, click subscribe, check us out on Medium. If you want to join our community, coinobservatory.com. Click on that community mentorship. You get access to myself, our analyst team, to our trading ideas, to our margin trading ideas, to our chat rooms. And yeah, we'll see you there. Thanks for tuning in.